Chapter 4: The Crucible of Battle. Sacrifice and Redemption. The whispers of dissent, once a faint murmur, had grown into a cacophony. The fragile peace, painstakingly forged in the aftermath of the Obsidian Pass battle, threatened to shatter under the weight of mutual distrust. The Sylvan elves, their ancient forests scarred, their sacred groves desecrated, demanded reparations, not just material compensation, but a symbolic gesture acknowledging the depth of their losses. The human kingdoms, exhausted and burdened by their own devastation, struggled to meet these demands, their resources stretched thin, their patience wearing down. Gia, standing on the precipice of a renewed conflict, felt the familiar chill of dread creeping into her bones. The weight of her crown felt heavier than ever before, pressing down on her shoulders, suffocating her. Lysander, beside her, mirrored her apprehension, the shadow of his grief etched deeply onto his face. The young Sylvan archer, his lifeless eyes haunted Lysander's dreams, now seemed to represent the chasm of mistrust that separated their kingdoms. One moonless night, huddled together in the ruins of what was once a grand elven temple, Lysander confessed his secret burden. He had, during the thickest of the fighting, stumbled upon an ancient elven artifact, a relic imbued with immense power, capable of healing the land and restoring what the war had taken. But this relic came with a price. The inscription on its surface, deciphered only partially by the royal mages, spoke of a great sacrifice, a soul offered in exchange for the land's healing. Gia, her heart pounding in her chest, felt a cold dread grip her. She understood the implication, a life for the land. But which life? Whose soul would be offered on the altar of peace? The weight of the decision pressed down on them, crushing the air from their lungs. The silence hung heavy between them, broken only by the whisper of the wind sighing through the shattered remnants of the temple. Lysander, his gaze fixed on Gia, proposed a solution born of desperation and love. He would offer himself. He was a human, an outsider to the Sylvan people, and his sacrifice would not provoke an outcry of outrage from the humans who had not witnessed the devastation at the forefront. The elves were demanding a sacrifice, a way to appease the angry spirits of their sacred groves. Lysander's life, he believed, was a more acceptable sacrifice than any elven life. Gia, her breath caught in her throat, vehemently opposed the idea. She couldn't bear the thought of losing him, of sacrificing the man she loved to appease the angry spirits of the land. Their love, a beacon in the darkness of the war, couldn't be extinguished so easily. But Lysander was resolute, his voice firm despite the tremor in his hand. He saw it as the only way to prevent further bloodshed, to finally bring about the true reconciliation that the fragmented kingdoms desperately needed. Their argument raged under the pale moonlight, a tempest of tears and accusations. Gia pleaded, raged, bargained, every ounce of her being screaming against the thought of losing him. But Lysander remained unwavering, his conviction fueled by the immense guilt he carried from the war, a guilt he believed could only be expiated through sacrifice. In the end, it wasn't a battle of wills, but a desperate act of love. Gia, understanding the depth of Lysander's self-sacrifice, knew she couldn't stand in the way of his resolution. Instead, she offered a counterproposal, a compromise that would bridge the divide between their love and their duty. She proposed a shared sacrifice, a ritual that would bind their souls, intertwining their fates, allowing them to both offer a part of themselves to heal the land. The ritual was ancient, shrouded in secrecy, known only to the oldest and wisest of the elven mages. It required a profound connection between the two individuals involved, a depth of love and understanding that would act as a conduit for the healing magic. Gia and Lysander, hand in hand, faced the ancient artifact, their hearts beating in unison. The air crackled with magic, the very earth seemed to tremble under the weight of the ancient power. The elven mages, their faces solemn and their voices hushed, began the incantation. As the ritual progressed, Gia and Lysander felt their essence being drawn out, a part of their souls merging with the power of the artifact. It was not a complete sacrifice, but a shared offering, a testament to their unwavering love. The process was excruciating, a visceral tearing of their being. They felt their life force draining away, yet somehow, paradoxically, they felt closer than ever before. As the last echoes of the incantation faded, a wave of warmth washed over them, bathing the ravaged land in a radiant light. The change was immediate and palpable. The scarred earth healed, the twisted metal melded back into the landscape, the air cleansed of the lingering scent of death. The forests, once barren and desolate, burst into vibrant life, the sacred groves restored to their pristine beauty. The magical anomalies subsided, the chaotic currents coming into a gentle rhythm. The land breathed again. Their physical bodies, though weakened, were healed. The ritual hadn't extinguished their lives, but it had changed them. They had become vessels of the land's healing, their connection deepening, their love transcending the mortal plane. The sacrifice had brought about not death, but a profound transformation. The news spread swiftly, silencing the whispers of dissent. The elves, witnessing the miraculous rebirth of their lands, felt a surge of gratitude, replacing their resentment with awe and respect. The humans, overwhelmed by the spectacle of the land's renewal, laid down their arms. The ancient hatreds faded, replaced by a sense of shared triumph. Gia and Lysander, hailed not only as heroes, but as saviors, were finally able to lead their kingdoms towards a brighter future. Their sacrifice had been monumental, but it had also brought about a profound redemption. Their love, refined by the crucible of battle and tested by the depth of their shared sacrifice, had emerged stronger, more potent than ever before. It was a love that had healed not just the land, but the hearts of two warring kingdoms, forging a path toward lasting peace. The long journey to recovery had begun, but this time, hope shone brightly, fueled by the power of sacrifice and the enduring strength of love.